Hi, I'm Russell America is in here with another episode of Dark Theory USA. I'm here to talk about everything that has happened so far. It's going to be a very crazy weekend. So many things are happening. And everything that is happening right now, regard to America, of course, has some connection and has some ties to Middle East, basically, because let's say right now, Witkov, apparently right now it is in Oman, if I'm not mistaken, in Muscat, the capital of Oman, and also Trump. Right now, he has to be in Middle East right now, and with his team, he's gonna have a tour: Saudi Arabia, Qatar, I think Emirat as well. And the reason is obvious because they're gonna have very huge investment. I think Emirat, UAE gonna have $1.4 trillion investment in the United States, and Saudi Arabia promised for $600 million, and Trump said added 600 billion, and Trump said 400 billion extra to make it 1 trillion. And even if they added 400, it still would be 400 short to what the UAE is investing, because for UAE is $1.4 trillion. So, and Qatar also, it is very close ally to the United States. And the reason is, I didn't know that the biggest bases, military base in region in Middle East is in Qatar, even though Qatar is very small. And not only that, not biggest amount of military weapons, artillery is in Qatar, but also Qatar is paying for everything. Apparently, like all the payments, everything, maintenance is paid by Qatar. So Qatar wants to play big role over there. It's very small. It's gonna, Qatar has to compete as well. And then we American, of course, take advantage of that. And it's fair. I mean, as a Muslim, as long as it's not haram, then it is halal. It's like being super ethical. I'm not super ethical. As long as it's not haram, I am allowed to do that. I mean, the morality is not my first priority. Of course, I care about that, but I say if they are paying us to compete with each other, why not? So they are competing who takes care of us more than the other Arab countries, and why not? We take it. Besides that, Witkov, it is the fourth round of negotiation with Iran, and it is very important because so far, I mean, except the last round 3 was a little into detail. The first and second was just talking about the generality, and so far all the 3 rounds have been very productive from both sides. They described it as a productive and constructive conversation. So, but they said the most important one is this one, because now they're going to get to the disagreements, because they're going to talk in detail. Yes. And then what it means is basically, for example, like in the beginning, that wasn't very discussed into detail, that America is okay with Iran have the nuclear enrichment and uranium enrichment inside the Iran soil, or they have to buy it or make it outside. Like, for example, there's type of deal, you can have your facility in Russia, and from Russia you make it over there, and then you, after it's done, you bring it inside the country. And the reason is because, so the enrichment is not inside the house, is not inside Iran, so you cannot hide anything somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You cannot have secret facility. And if they find by the satellites, if they find you are enriching uranium anywhere, it is illegal, because right now they are saying, well, we are, but it is only 3.2 65, let's say 3.5, let's say less than 4. Less than 4% enrichment is just for civilian purposes, but more than that, it gets dangerous. Like more than 20% or 50, 60% is only can be used for weapon. It doesn't have any, you know, like civilian purposes for, you know, generating electricity or using in the pharmaceutical company or anything. So they're saying if we put it over there to get that 4% outside, so we won't be able to, supposedly we won't be able to see any sign to dedicate, to show that, to indicate that you have basically enriching any nuclear facility, any enrichment inside Iran. So it's going to make it easier. But right now it is kind of like tricky. Well, I am enriching, but it is for less than 4%. They say, okay, so let us go see. And they say, well, we cannot let you see, because one of the tricks that Iran apparently was using, allegedly, was using those enrichment inside their army facilities, like, you know, army bases. And then, so that was their excuse, oh, we cannot let you in because it is something very private. It's something like for the security purposes, we cannot let foreigner to come inside. So, but if it's in middle of nowhere, I guess in Natanz, you know, in those places in Isfahan, if that's the case, they don't have any excuse to not let them. So they are saying they are using cover-up. You know, the Torguzabad, that was a place for the laundry, you know, laundry clothes, not laundry money, but for the clothes, you know, like you take your clothes over there, or even they wash rugs over there. We call it qali shui. Qali shui, qali means kind of small rug, and shu means laundering rugs. And then so they don't let you go there because this is a private company. But they, apparently below that they had the nuclear facility. So they have some cover up, but they say, and they could detect it from satellites. So they realize that in this area they are enriching uranium. But that's why United States is saying keep it outside. So we won't, then if you are following the law, we won't see any sign of enrichment. And that makes it, to be honest, very easy for both sides, because neither they are playing games, nor we have to be worried about anything. And if it is in Russia, we both believe, trust Russia, we Americans trust Russia, and Iran is very great ally to Russia as well. And then Russia confirms that no, they are not enriching uranium. Plus, even Russia doesn't want Iran to have a nuclear bomb, because then they would get kind of independent. And so that is the part that it is the red line for both sides. Iran's United States says you have to dismantle your nuclear program and then make it create it outside of Iran. And Iran says, no, we don't have any negotiation. And so the reason for each side, for United States, I already explained that they basically, they save themselves from the hassle. Like, I keep seeing the signs that indicate that they are enriching uranium. We go there, oh, it is private company, or it is private property, or it is military bases. For security reason purposes, we cannot let you in. And the game gonna continue like that. We're gonna keep asking, they're gonna keep denying. It's gonna be the game, and we don't have time for the game. So that is the reason for us. And then we trust Russia, and they trust Russia, and then why not put it over there? It's not like we say you have to put your nuclear facility in some countries that you don't like. Russia is your closest ally, even China, that's okay. And Iran says, well, if I do that, I'm gonna be Libya 2.0. You know, like the supreme leader Khamenei gonna say, I'm gonna be Gaddafi'd, ED in the end. I'm gonna get Gaddafi'd. I'm gonna face the same fate as Gaddafi did. So basically, Iran says, if we give up our nuclear program, then nothing is stopping them from attacking us. And we say, if we let you have your enrichment program inside Iran, what happens is always you can play game with us and not let us go there to inspect to see what's going on over there, because there were a couple of times they even I don't think any American expert was allowed to go there to inspect, but I think there were a couple of times when experts went there to inspect that if it is they are enriching for peaceful purposes or not. What happened was, from atomic agencies, they were denied to have access to those locations. So they were there, nobody opened the door for them, so they had to go back to their hotel, which is embarrassing, to be honest. I mean, it is that level of miscommunication between, because first of all, if they were not allowed to go there, why did they go all the way over there? That's disrespectful. And if you don't want them to have access to those places that that was their sole purpose, to go there to see those locations that they already told you, then why did you wasted your time, your resources and their resources and time to bring them in here, to not let them? So what was the point of all flying to just have some souvenir from Isfahan and take it back to their country? What was the point of letting them come inside inside Iran if in the end of the day their access would be denied? And vice versa. If they are not letting you go there, so it means they are doing something. I mean, because the case for Iran is so weird. It's not like any other country. For example, like I understand Iran was saying, oh, okay, you got out of the deal after Trump torn apart the deal that the JCPOA that Barack Obama had made it with Rouhani as a president at that time. I remember when Trump got out of the deal, what happened was Iran started enriching the uranium for up to 60%. And there is no purpose for that, for enriching 60% or more than that, other than making nuclear bomb. There is no other purpose. I mean, if there is, I would like to know, but there is no other purpose. So other than just trying to annoy the West and say, oh, you got out of the deal, you put sanction on me, so I'm going to do something that you hate. Because Tulsi Gabbard said, we don't have any reason to believe, we don't have any evidence to believe that Iran is trying to make the nuclear bomb. Not only they don't have it, they're not even trying, they're not even in process of making it. So that makes it crazy. So this fourth round, they are clear. Basically, it's conflict of interest. One of them has to back off. One of them. Either United States has to say, yeah, okay, that's fine, you can enrich inside Iran, but then you have to give us all the access to everywhere to go check it, even your military bases. Or Iran has to back off and say, yeah, okay, we do that, but you have to lift off all the sanction already. You know, like, of course, whoever accept that deal gonna take so many more, they're gonna put so many conditions to their favor because they are losing something, so to make sure gain something else. We have to see. Right now, I guess in United States, 7 p.m. 7 p.m. in United, it's gonna be midnight, like after midnight, like I guess probably 2-3 a.m. in Oman. So I guess by midnight, like in 5-6 hours, they're gonna start the negotiation, and that's gonna be the most important one, because after that, if they agree on those, if one of them accept to cross the red line, and still they agree, they don't get off the table, then it's going to be easier. So basically it was easy, got hard. That's the hardest part. And then it's going to get easier, because if they agree with something like, okay, no enrichment, no nuclear facility inside Iran, but we go to Russia, or okay, you can have it, but instead you have to give me some guarantee, like that you are not going to make a bomb. And if they deal on whatever it is, then the rest gonna be only talking about the details. So we have to see. And I guess Witkov said, if it doesn't work out, it's over. But it actually makes sense, because there's no point in talking if neither of sides are agreeing with the other one. And at the same time, Trump is going to claim to get those cash into the bag and come back in here with all those investment. And it's kind of like a tour. It's not only one country, but Saudi Arabia are going to be the most important one. So besides all of them, that was only Iran, United States. Couple of things happen that I think they are worth talking about. One of them is apparently, allegedly, reportedly, I don't know if it is true or not, Trump cut the ties or direct contact with Netanyahu, and the reason is because he was pushing him to go to war with Iran. Maybe that's only a stage, maybe it's only a game to convince Iran to accept a couple of deals. Maybe not. We have to see. And at the same time, Pete Hegseth canceled its trip to Israel. He was supposed to go to Israel while Trump is going to Saudi Arabia and Witkoff is going to Oman. He's going with the Trump to the Middle East, to Saudi Arabia and Qatar and Emirat. And they are saying there is a rumor over there he's gonna recognize Palestine as a state. And that is actually the big news that he said. It's very big and it's very positive. It's not about trading, because he had two big news in last 2 days, but both of them, they were related to the trade. But this time he said it has nothing to do with the trade. And he said, well, we're going to say probably when we are in the Middle East, or maybe when we come back, we declare that. And we're going to state that. Some people are saying that's recognition of a state of Palestine. And the reason is because he said it's very big news. Trump has done has made so many big news, but he has never said in the tone that he said about this stuff. So it's something crazy. Like when he said it, well, I mean, what can it be the very big news? Ukraine, Russia would be very big news, but they are not even close. They are still talking. Iran, United said deal is off the table because it's still they're talking. How can they say, oh, we got there without being there? And then the trade they had with the England was kind of, about the trading, so it cannot be, or even in general wasn't that big. So he said he wants to bring down the price of the drugs, like the medicine. That's very big for me, at least. I care about the healthcare to be more accessible and affordable for American people. But I don't think even that is a very big, I cannot talk about that. Like he said, like it's so big, like already we are waiting. He said it's gonna be so big, and it has been for years. So for many years, like Russia, Ukraine has been only for a few years. You know what I'm saying? Like he was talking like it has been for the decades. The healthcare would be, but even if that was the case, he would make a bigger news about that. Like he just announced that, like as an executive order. So the only thing which is left that could meet those expectations based on the way that he described how big and constructive and positive this news is something that all the presidents they have been trying for in the last decade, would be recognition of Palestine. And it is very important right now because now everyone has an opinion. Like maybe probably 8 years ago, prior to October 7th, not everybody cared. But right now, everybody cares. Even those people who cannot care less about Palestine or Israel, they care. The reason is because some people, they say, enough of paying money for this war. Let them figure out by themselves. We have to look. Now everybody has opinion about that. This is what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? Like for Russia, Ukraine, still after 3 years, there are some people that say, I don't care. Just leave me alone. But for Palestine, Israel, I don't think anybody in the United States doesn't have. I mean, of course, there are some people that don't care. But even those people that don't care, they care. But not care about those countries, care about their country that they don't want to be involved. And some people, they say we are not helping them enough. We have to even go further. So cutting ties with Netanyahu, also the ceasefire with the Houthis, that was crazy. Israel said we were not aware of that. Not only that, when they said that, but still Houthis are attacking Israel, even though they are not attacking Israel. And Trump was like, okay. That was crazy too. I didn't expect that either. It wasn't on my bingo card. Like I said, what? He said, yeah, Israel is getting attacked. That's okay, but they're not attacking us because they Houthis promised to not attack American ships, but they said we still attack Israel, and they did. And he didn't say anything about that. Was crazy to me. That was crazy. And then ambassador of America in Israel, they say we don't need permission from Israel to talk with Houthi. That was the strong tone, a strong language. Also, apparently, United States want to drop the condition of normalization with Israel for Saudi Arabia in order to have the civilian nuclear program with Saudi Arabia. That is also crazy. So one of the reasons that America never accepted to have the nuclear program with Saudi Arabia, civilian program, of course not nuclear bomb, was because they said we wait until you normalize with Israel, but Saudi Arabia said we won't do that unless there is a state of Palestine with the capital of Jerusalem. Now that's gonna be off the table. Okay, you don't need to normalize with Israel, but still we're gonna have that deal with you. Probably Saudi Arabia said, I'm gonna invest on your country more for $1 trillion if you accept that nuclear program. Like, give me something, I give you something. And then, but the only thing that was blocking that deal was Netanyahu. Or Israel, that they say, well, in order to give them what they want, they have to normalize with us. So America was saying, like, we are not getting the deal that we want because of one other country. Apparently, he's mad at Netanyahu because he was pushing him too far to go to war with Iran. And the reason that he fired Mike Waltz allegedly was that because Mike Waltz was secretively talking with Netanyahu and keep pushing. And then apparently Trump said, are you national advisor, security national advisor of this country or another country, which is Israel? So if you connect those dots together, there is a possibility that big news, which is very positive, and every president in America in last couple of decades have been trying to do that, but they haven't. And it's not about economy. Like in America, nobody says, oh, finally Saudi Arabia has nuclear program. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like Russia, Ukraine have been fighting for 10 years, you know. Would be possible. We have to see. It's just a rumor, but it's crazy if it happens. Now we have to see, because already if you go on X, it looks crazy. That's about that. So we have to see what happened tomorrow. But definitely those big news that could happen, like normalizing with Iran, couldn't happen because just today they are talking about that. And it's a fourth round. It's going to be so many more rounds until they finalize. And then they're going to have only deal. It's not, they're not even normalizing. But the way that he honored Houthis' words and commitment, and he was okay with keep attacking Israel as long as they don't attack American people, as he should. Everyone should care about their own citizen, their own army people. And also firing Vitka, Mark Waltz, it gives me the sense like maybe it's true. I mean, let's just see. I'm hoping, but let's see. The other thing was Kanye dropped a single song which was Hail the mustache guy, right? Listen, my reaction to that video is it wasn't a statement, or it wasn't an action, but a reaction. His song is a reaction to what is going on. Because think about that. Kanye is African American. I call them Black American because they are equally American. As much as white people are American, as much as Middle Eastern are American, they are American. So Black American, there's no African American. I'm not Iranian American. I'm Aryan American. Ethnicity and that. But you know, so Kanye is black. And if a white person made that song, probably they could attack him differently. But when Kanye sing that, they cannot do so much. Plus, Kanye is worldwide famous. It's not like some random singer that they could boycott or they can cancel or censor it. He's a worldwide singer. Everybody knows Kanye. And he has so much money. He has enough money to not care about that. So I think Kanye is tired of being told what to do, what not to do, what to say, what not to say. And that's kind of like this statement is kind of like reactionary statement. Like, hey, you're stopping me from talking. I'm going to talk about the stuff that I'm not allowed to talk. And he already mentioned that. I don't know if he's saying that really because he means that, or he's using to just show how they're mean to. I'm not saying he doesn't love his children, but every time that he's talking about it, he said, they took away my children from me. So I'm not saying he's not a good father or he's just acting, but this is what he's saying. And I don't know how much of it is real or he's making up, but why not? Like, he's the father of those children, and why not? He says, they took away from me, they canceled my deals, and I'm censored, I'm banned. Basically, I don't have any reason to not fight you back. You know, sometimes in order to not fight back, you have to have something to lose. But if everything that you care about is taken away from you, then you use all your effort, all the fame, all the money you have to respond to that. You know, they are saying that more dangerous than a tiger, sleepy tiger, is a cat, is a tiny cat who is caught up in a corner. When cats don't have any way out, now the only way they can survive is fighting. They can be as dangerous as a tiger or something, you know, even though they look super smart. That works for everybody, even for human. Like, if I have something to lose, maybe I'm gonna have second thought before I do something crazy. But I say everything that I should be worried about losing, I have lost already. Then what is stopping me from doing what I'm doing, from saying what I'm saying? So it's one sign of the protest. And a couple of things happened that helped Kanye to do what he's doing. Because if those conditions weren't met, probably Kanye wouldn't be able to do what he's doing right now. One of them was Twitter, X. Now X, the entire slogan of X, to convince others to not leave this platform, to stay in this platform, or entire slogan was freedom of speech. Like, the reason that he bought that Twitter for $44 billion, which was worth only $20 billion at that time, was only to restore freedom of speech, whatever it is. You know, the freedom of speech doesn't mean as long as it doesn't hurt this group of people feeling. Whatever it is, just go there. That's really definition of freedom of speech. Like, First Amendment means anything. The worst and offensive word that you can think of, you have to talk. You should be able to talk about that. Everything. And if you ban, because on the Biden administration, they were really censoring people because they were saying some stuff that they didn't like. They were not aligned with the direction that White House wanted to take country to. So they had excuse as well. They were saying, well, we are banning those accounts because they are saying something against COVID, against the vaccine. And it is against the direction that we want to take, we are heading. And Elon Musk said no matter what they say, they have to be able to say that. So if Elon Musk didn't buy the X, Twitter, and his slogan wasn't that, he just bought that, you know, for example, Kevin O'Leary, I guess, he wants to buy TikTok. But the reason that he wants to buy TikTok is only to make money, to get profit of it. It's not like, oh, I want to bring freedom of speech or change, put some radical changes on TikTok. He doesn't care. Probably he doesn't change the policy, whatever it is. Just instead of money goes to those group of people, comes to me. Right? But for Elon Musk says, I paid extra only to restore freedom of speech in the United States. So if right now he bans Kanye's music, basically he's insulting himself and people are going to lose their trust. They say, so it was just a slogan, so you were lying. Which basically is true, because he didn't say, I'm going to restore freedom of speech as long as it doesn't hurt this group of people, as long as it's not anti-Semite, as long as it's not Islamophobic, as long as it's not homophobic. He didn't mention any of them. He said, whatever you were not allowed to say, as long as you are not inciting for violence, you should be, even if it is the most offensive thing to say. So for that reason, Kanye has the platform to talk about, because every other platform has banned Kanye's music. You cannot find it on YouTube, you cannot find anywhere, Apple Music. There is no platform in the world, I guess, at least, or in the United States, that allowed Kanye to release that song on that platform, with the exception of X. So it means Kanye was lucky. If Elon Musk didn't have that slogan, if Elon Musk just like Kevin O'Leary said, oh, I can buy Twitter so I can make money, just for the sake of investment, yeah, probably wouldn't go anywhere. Like, he would ban that too. He say, I didn't promise to let people who are praising the mustache guy to be there, you know. But when his entire slogan was this, so the story is different this time. For one. For two, I remember for his previous album, Donda, his neighborhood that he grew up in, and he had the house in the concert. He had Marilyn Manson there. He was cancelled by Me Too movement as well, and a couple of other singers and celebrities. So it wasn't. Kanye West wasn't entirely banned and censored from the Hollywood world, from the celebrity world. Still, there were celebrities who were teaming up with him. But when he went full all the way in the direction that he was going, I don't think even those people who were with him in Donda 1 album would participate in his Donda 2. Like, right now, everyone is distancing themselves because, you know, they are saying, like, bro, it's going crazy. It's going to ruin my reputation. I'm going to lose all my deals that I have. So people are distancing. The only ones that are staying with him, around him, there are a bunch of influencers. So I don't want to disrespect Esnico. I think he's very smart, but or Nick Fuentes. But I think the reason that those people got there, because Kanye West couldn't have any other famous celebrities, Hollywood celebrities, established celebrities, outside of the influencer, blogger world, into his tour. If that was the case, he would added some more people. But right now, he's only hanging out with the influencers because they are the only ones that they go there. Why? Because that's the entire personality, to be controversial online. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just mentioning, like, it wouldn't hurt them, but instead it would promote them. Do you understand? Like, entire their persona, their personality, the character is to say stuff that established celebrities are not allowed to say, because they have too many contracts, they have ties with other entities, other corporations, that they wouldn't allow them to say whatever they want. But these people are basically independent celebrities. They have their own account, and like they got famous. So of course, probably they have a couple of sponsors, but that's all they have got, right? So it is themselves, and whatever they are doing, because that's their personality, it helps their fame, because they are not looking for $10 million Avenger movie. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who's in Avenger movie, somebody who has has a concert, like have some more connection with the outside world, with other corporation, would be more careful about what they are saying. But that's not the case for the bloggers or influencers, because that's the entire point. It is they are by themselves, and they make money by themselves. Because think about that. Right now, let's say I was talking to you guys and I was making money by you guys watching me. That's it. That's my room. Call it a studio room, whatever. I'm here, I'm talking, and let's say I get money by the viewership. That's it. Then I don't need to be worried about who's gonna cancel me, because you are watching me and I'm getting paid by the platform that I uploaded this video on. That's it. That's all I need. So then you're more detached from that celebrity world, from those connections. So it's easier for you to say what others can. So because also we are living at the time that influencers are sometimes bigger than celebrities. Like let's say iSpeed. The Speed is more famous than so many celebrities, so many athletes or actors or singers. And he's just making funny videos. Not even that funny. He's not even a comedian. He's influencers. He travels, and his reaction to stuff made him famous. You know what I'm saying? When he was either he's doing a streaming, or he's streaming, playing game, or listening to music, or going outside in other countries. So because those streamers are big enough to give him some boost and lift, he was able to get away with that. Because if that was like 4 years ago, influencers were not as big as they are right now. They didn't have the fan base they have right now. It wouldn't move the needle. It wouldn't make any difference. Now it does. So now, I don't know, like let's say Kanye West next to the sneaker would probably give him more fan base than if he had a deal with one promoting corporation, those sponsors that they get half your purse in order to promote you somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So he was lucky for one, having X, that Twitter, that even if they wanted to ban Ye's music, they couldn't, because it would be against their, let's say, their slogan. Their premise was freedom of speech, and it could have the very big backlash for them. And since they are not making money as much as they expected, they need to at least keep those people who are there. If they cannot bring somebody from outside, at least keep who are already there. So for that reason, X cannot ban them. Other platforms ban. If your music is not being played anywhere, basically, then how am I supposed to listen to it? Then there would be no way for him to promote that. But you see, like if they go to the Twitch, or I don't know, Rumble, and Sneeko is live streaming and they play over there, it's as if it is a concert online. You know, in the COVID, they wanted to have the basically concert without people only pay for digitally be there in the concert. I think even WWE, if you remember, they had you connect with it just like a Zoom meeting, but you watch it and then your face gonna be screened on around the area. So they had the biggest screen around the ring in the WWE, and everybody who was streaming, if they had the camera on, their face would be visible over there. So those two reasons. One, Twitter, they couldn't cancel or ban his video even if they wanted to, because that would give them very backlash, especially after those people who their verification badge was stripped do their protest because of H-1B visa. That would be way worse. And because Elon Musk cannot replace those people, those users, with new commerce, new people come to this platform, so he has to keep them at least. So he couldn't do that. And also the streamers, they were big enough to lift up Kanye West. Those people who showed up in his Donda 1 wouldn't show up on this one and Donda 2. So he was lucky. I don't think Kanye West calculated that. So, oh, okay, so I can, because he uploaded on every platform, but all of them banned that. And who knows, that maybe expand them too. But so far it is going to his favor. Everyone banned him. So now more people want to see it and they go to the X. X gets more engagement. So he likes that. So he let it stay there. And also those streamers are backing him up, and those streamers are famous and big enough to make some differences. So what I'm saying is, if Kanye West basically relied on these influencers 4 years ago, 5 years ago, it would be kind of embarrassing. It wouldn't do anything, and people even would make fun of him. I remember 5 years ago, oh, you are influencer? Oh, who is watching you? 14 years old kid in their grandma's basement? You know what I'm saying? Like, people were making fun of them. I was saying, like, you say you have followers, you stream, many people watch it, but who are they? 11 years old kid eating his cereal while watching you? You know what I'm saying? They were saying, like, kids or like, they're nobody, those people who are following you. But now, the fan base of these influencers are established. They can really, sometimes when they say stuff like, you know, they are big enough that Jordan Peterson in Joe Rogan's podcast brings up the groypers as an example. Mostly groypers, they have just the frog, the Pepe Frog's picture icon as their profile picture, and that's it. You even don't know who they are. They are boy, girl, how old they are. You don't know, but still they are established enough that he's worried about them. 5 years ago, people were making fun of them. Oh, you are nobody. You don't have any identity in real life. That's why your face is not on your profile picture. There's a picture of the frog animation, animated frog, and then nobody knows who you are. Who knows that maybe you're in Filipino, you're in, let's say, South Korea. You don't exist in real world. You know, that was the argument. Like, these people don't exist in real world. But now apparently they are big enough that Kanye West is relying on them, and he has been, like, many people are talking about that, reacting, and even Jordan Peterson mentioned the groypers as a real threat, that these people, if they were not big enough, if they couldn't do anything, he wouldn't even mention them. Because I remember back in the day, he was going, these rats. He wasn't even naming their name. But now he is, because they are too big to be ignored. And I think for that reason, Kanye is getting what he wants. And again, he doesn't have Kim Kardashian. He lost his girlfriend. He cannot see his kids. All the labels, I think even Adidas, they canceled their deals with him. Then he's alone. Like, I remember when he came to the conversation was the time that he started to keep tweeting on Twitter. I think a little before the Super Bowl started. Prior to that, everyone forgot about Kanye West. Everyone forgot he existed. He came back with very extreme tweets, and everyone said, oh my God, did you hear that? and then he grabbed the attention to himself from the world. Think about that. Prior to that show, because I exactly remember that was 3 a.m. I said, Amir, what are you doing? Go sleep. I said, okay, let me just scroll a little more. And then I saw that 20 minutes ago, posted something on Twitter. And I said, what? Because he never posted for, I think, for months, if not years. And then it was very extreme. And I saw that, oh, there is another post. He kept posting like every minute. I said, oh, what's going on? And I woke up and then the whole world was talking about that. But I was online 30 minutes after he posted his, he showed up to the Twitter after a while. And then after that, the story goes on and he was in Super Bowl commercial. And then he did the stuff that he was doing, a couple of controversial interviews. And now the Hail Mustache Guy music. He's back because he's making a statement. And he knows at the moment that he goes silent, again, nobody gonna talk about him. Especially right now, because, you know, for example, if you're an actor or singer, eventually you're gonna come up with the album, with the music, some other companies or sponsors, they're gonna promote you anyway. So even if you are not doing it from your side, those people that you have contract with, they're gonna promote you, right? But for Kanye, because he's canceled from the world, that's on him. So that's why he's making sure at least he keeps the fan base, like the young fan base, like a Sneeko fan base, even Audien Ross fan base. Because I was saying, why is he to myself? I was like, why is it? Not that they are not big, but now it is, you are hanging out with a couple of influencers, blogger, YouTubers, but I remember nobody dared to go with him, talk to him now anymore, because everyone would be cancelled. Nobody. The only one who wouldn't be cancelled, but in fact the opposite, they're going to be promoted, they're the YouTubers, they're influencers. So I realized that, okay, that's it. So I don't know if he would hang out with them. Also, if he could hang out with, I don't know, like let's say Trump or Marilyn Manson or others, you know. So we have to see, but that's a very strange time. And all the news that I gave about the Middle East, the funny thing is they all happened right after he dropped the song. I don't know if it is coincidence or that was part of the program. I don't know. You know, life is so crazy right now. Anything that you say, I might not believe that, but I wouldn't be surprised. So I hope you liked it. Your like, your comment, your subscribe would help me definitely, potentially. And I would like to know your opinion as well. And like always, as above, so below.